All right, I think we're about ready to roll here. Hello, and welcome to the Rough Report. We are once again reporting live here from Ottawa, Nat and I, and then Jessica is in Hamilton. And we're bringing you some stuff and news.
Things even.
Things even. Was it, what's the character I'm trying to think of? Snagglepuss? Things even.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what's really adorable is right before the show, I was out front having a cigarette, and some kids in the neighborhood were doing a lemonade stand. So,
did you check and see if they had a permit though?
Yeah.
What do we look like, cops?
Yeah. Yeah, call the health inspector on them.
Yeah. An illegal lemonade stand.
Yeah, they had. I went with the iced tea. They had options. Even.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
So I didn't tell you this yet, but I got pulled over driving today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now's the time. Yeah. Okay, let's hear it.
Because cops have this thing that automatically scans your license plate, and it comes up as the owner of the car has a suspended license.
Oh.
Yeah.
We still haven't transferred ownership on that yet?
No, we're not going to because we're selling it back.
Oh, yeah, we're selling it back to her. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But anyways, and so this is the second time it happened, but yeah, it's interesting and creepy technology. I'm just glad that the cop today, because I was on my way to a medical appointment, I'm glad that like he didn't hold me up. Like he seemed to understand the situation and wasn't a big prick about it, but
yeah.
Still, but he could have been. That's the problem.
The fact they pulled me over is like, you suck.
It's plainly not you with the suspended license. As soon as they see your license, they're going to be like, "Oh, you are a legitimate driver." Yeah,
I know, but still, it's like that surveillance state feeling is like unideal.
Yeah.
I don't like this technology. But then again, like what are we gonna do about it?
Yeah,
pretty much.
I mean, it's not like I'm going to try and put on a fake license plate. I'm sure that would flag more and get me pulled over more.
You know what's really funny is like there's certain things that people get like really uptight about in terms of the surveillance state that I'm kind of in favor of, like the things that I see like internet ID. I'm kind of down with the internet ID. There
in
could
theory.
be in theory. Yeah, there could be potentially a lot of drawbacks of that. Yeah. But it's like, because anytime we've tried to make standardized identification a thing for the sake of like not only security but just like expediency, right? Like making
and also like reducing access to porn for children has been a thing the entire time of the internet.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly. But although the efforts are meager, right? Like it's just like click here if you're 18. Yeah, like what a wall, what a brick wall they're presenting you with there.
Yeah, but like even if they give that, the previews are already not child safe.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, like you're getting the thumbnails or whatever.
Also, statistically, if you're a parent, I hate to tell you, your child's more likely to look at porn if you look at porn, including on the internet. So
I mean,
they'll find it.
I mean, like, yeah, like in my pre knowing about that stuff on the internet days, you find the box in your like stepdad's.
Two girls, one cup was mainstream when I was on the internet. You know what I mean? So I feel like the internet's actually like not as bad now. Like comparatively.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
like there's a dark web now. Before that was just the web.
Yeah, like you can just find that stuff on the regular web. So like
now we just have people live streaming murders, so that's cool.
Yeah, like the thing I'm kind of in favor of in terms of standardizing like internet identification is just like harassment campaigns, swatting, targeted stalking, like and potentially like things that could escalate beyond that as a result of those things, right? And so it's just like, people shouldn't be free to like anonymously ruin
but that's
a person's
only
life
if you overhaul the police system, because the police ain't gonna investigate that shit.
That too. Also, like there's such a tangled web of problems, right? But like I think like I was reading a bit about this earlier today where people upset about like internet identification, and actually like every form of identification that any government essentially has ever tried to table has been met with the same sort of resistance. And in a lot of cases it's turned out to be a good thing, right? Like passports, that can potentially be a very good thing. They've been used for good reasons, but originally it was a temporary wartime measure that like European countries were demanding passports. But once the war was over, I believe World War II, they just sort of kept them. And people are apparently really upset and kicking up a big stink about that. But then fast forward to now, and it's a pretty just normal, understandable thing.
People made us think about seatbelts. People just don't like change and being told what to do, but they get over it really fast.
Yeah, like the problem, like as we've talked about, as commies and Marxists and the like before, is the problem with authoritarianism most of the time is when it's right wing. When authoritarianism is being used for more benevolent purposes, which is
you're gonna get healthcare and you're gonna fucking like it.
Like we as Canadians have a form of identification that is specifically for our health insurance, but it has our photo on it. It has our
now. I think it was like maybe 8 years ago that I changed out my red and white card. And that's only because like I'd moved so much that I think they just hadn't caught up to me to like send me all the notices. But then finally it caught up and I was like, okay, as a person with a corporeal form, I should get this sorted because, I need to make sure that I can access healthcare if I need to. But like the problem right now with these identification measures is the particular moment in time, and I'm not saying this is only a problem right now. I'm just saying specifically, especially right now. The problem is that the authoritarian fascism is so big and getting its fingers into everything. And so all this identity verification and like social media apps being able to track you and needing to use ID to access certain websites, which means that is your ID secure? Ha!
Who's facilitating that, right?
Well, it's like how are they safeguarding your personal information? But then also
like
who has access to that? Like even sources like 23andMe, like getting a DNA profile to check out your family history. That got sold.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
BetterHelp. Therapy appointments. They're getting sold.
And so, like how was like the selling of that not brought with the legal condition?
Because they do it first. They'll apologize later if the government actually
well, that's the
does
thing.
Something,
That's kind of the modus operandi of the private sector now more than ever, right? Is don't ask permission, ask for forgiveness or mercy after the crime has been committed, or just grease the right palms or whatever.
And so that's literally the issue right now with trying to put through these ID access requirements, because who Equifax breach, there we go, that too. And so like who is going to make sure that the fascists don't use this as more ways to monitor us and target us, because like this is the world that we're in right now.
That literally is what scares me with Pride right now, is it's like we're at this cusp where it's like it was safe to come out for so many years that now it's like starting to be dangerous again. And it's like they know all of y'all. Like they see your socials. They know who's gay.
Yeah.
You can't go back in. There's no hiding that. Like it's done.
Yeah, and
it's like
yeah, and when it comes down to it, folks, there's only one way out of that, and it's not peaceful.
Well, like the thing that frustrates me is that the way that we have been so indoctrinated that the government has a monopoly on violence is that they get to set the terms of what is violence. And so if you, for example, I'm gonna actually, my example is going to go towards the States and also corollary in Canada. So like in the US, if you have health insurance and they deny your claim, then you die.
Yeah.
Predictably, that's not considered violence. And then the same kind of thing in Canada, where like in Ontario, if you can't get access to healthcare quickly enough and you die, that is still violence, right?
Yeah.
Like if it's a matter of like minutes because you're bleeding out, then whatever. Like that's
it's like that. How did you get in that situation? I bet you that's probably poverty and someone stabbed you and robbed you. Oh, that's also political.
I mean, it could be you're on the highway and you get an accident. Either way, sometimes the death happens quickly, and so that's kind of like you can't say like all deaths are blah blah blah. But when it's an issue of like that something's wrong, you're trying to get help, you're trying to, or even the fact that doctors no longer do annual health checkups, right? Like those were to make sure that like even if you didn't clock that something was going bad, that a doctor could be like, I've seen you once a year, this is weird, let's check it out. Right?
Yeah.
That was preventative health care. But now, because they don't have the fucking time or the funding, and because everything is being nickeled and dimed in terms of health,
you can only go with one problem to that appointment.
I mean, fortunately, my doctor has never held me to that. Had anyone, to my knowledge, to that standard. Fortunately,
I'm pretty sure a lot of doctors are pretty understanding.
Well, especially because like if you're a good doctor, you understand that a lot of these things are fucking tied, right? It's like, your finger's broken. Let's deal with that. But also, your finger got broken because you passed out. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Come back next week.
Right? Like, let's split your finger, but then we'll worry about the passing out. While you're on the highway or something later.
Yeah. When you get into a car accident and bleed out because, and then you can't get to a hospital in time.
Yeah. And so
it's like, it's really rich to me, like kind of going back to the whole like ID thing when, like the same people who are going to like rant and cry about like this new potential internet identification or just the mere idea of it, they're the same largely the same people that are delighting in just immigrants or anybody who looks like they could be an immigrant being rounded up, papers please. Suddenly having good identification is extremely important to them.
But at the same time, if they were pulled over without their identification, they'd be like, what? No, I'm white. What are you doing? Or like, no, I voted for this. Or like, I'm Cuban, but I voted for this. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And it'd be like a brown cop pulling them over, asking for their papers too.
Yeah.
And then they get extra confused.
Yeah. Like, but no, you should be higher on the social hierarchy ladder than you. What are you doing?
People complain to give their postal code.
People do. I used to work at Pizza Hut and I had someone place a pickup order and I'm like, can I get a name and phone number for that? They're like, no. I was like, well, like, what am I? Sir, I need something.
Like, I'm not hacking your identity by making sure that you're picking up the right thing.
Yeah. Well, it's like, when I'm like renting music equipment from the shop or whatever, they require your driver's license for that. And
because you're taking expensive equipment that they need
exactly.
turned.
We kind of like it's understandable that they kind of want to know who you are when you're taking thousands of dollars of equipment out. Like that just seems like a business exchange, you know?
Especially since like that business is so lenient in their rental and financing policies that like the least they can do is like know who the fuck you are if you don't pay it or don't come back, right?
Oh yeah.
And so like this is
you even have to go get a card to use the library, okay? Like you have to identify yourself.
So it's like all this is
some
to
libraries.
Say
wait, I'm gonna interrupt briefly. Libraries are so fucking cool. We should use more of our libraries. Absolutely use them all the time. I've been in situations where like I didn't have ready access to mail, and so the librarian was just like, here, send this postcard, and then from here, and then when you receive it, then it's proof of your address. But like, oh look, clunk, it's already been verified. Here you go. Because librarians just want you to be able to access services. Like librarians don't want to be your barrier, right? Like this isn't like a financial transaction. Like
and like you know like people forget this. You can rent you know, like they have the library has that streaming service now where you can rent stuff.
I rent audiobooks all the time.
Yeah, you can rent audiobooks.
You
can.
A lot of them have podcast equipment now, so if you want to start your own podcast.
Yeah, they have like free tool libraries too.
Tool libraries, yeah.
And so
I've seen people complain about those, like, oh, if you want to get crappy tools, but you know what? Like, crappy tools are better than no tools.
Yeah, it's like if I could buy tools, I would buy tools. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Or you have like one project to do, and so like, and also like if you're trying something out. And you can borrow a tool before you invest in buying a tool, so you can see if it's your thing, if you're competent, if this is actually the tool that you
unused need. Recording studio spaces.
A lot of people don't know about them. That's literally it.
Yeah.
Like,
wow. Yeah. I think.
Anyways,
maybe we should do an expose on that. Yeah, get a bit of community service in that regard. Like, hey, use this stuff, people.
Even like TikTok clips.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like TikTok clips, having
a cool space to do good TikToks.
You know?
Yeah, but anyway, libraries offer so much. Like they have evolved with technologies so well, particularly in Canada. I can't, or like particularly in the, I can speak to Ontario and like Ottawa and Toronto. I can speak to those libraries. I can't necessarily speak to like Dryden. I'm not sure, but given how things are in Ontario, in Southern Ontario, I imagine that that infrastructure has probably made it easier in Northwestern Ontario. But libraries are fucking cool. Your tax dollars pay for them. They are a free third space for people to go that is not home or work, that doesn't expect you to
it's one of the few that are left.
Yeah. And so
like
support libraries. Support libraries because they're one of our last remaining free third spaces.
And
they're so fucking cool.
Yeah, so like to sort of put a bow on the whole like ranting about IDs thing, it's just very convenient that fascists love identification until they have to have it.
Absolutely.
It's projected. It's always projected.
We were saying this before the show. Every single thing that you have seen the right wing as a kind of conglomerate or glob or whatever, as an ideology, make big discourse out of, whether it be complaining about free speech, whether it be, all that stuff, or complaining about Pizzagate and potential pedophile rings, things like that. No matter what it is, if in the past 10 to 15 years, Donald Trump has been complaining about it, they're doing it.
Oh yeah,
they're doing it.
Yeah,
like every complaint about communism is a capitalist complaint.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just it's
Yeah,
So
like
mad.
watching like capitalist consolidation and the degradation of capitalism proceeds to the point where it's like affecting greater and greater amounts of the working class, and they like start saying stuff like, "What is this? The USSR?" It's just like,
no, bitch.
no,
It's the capitalist
you're
endgame.
literally in capitalism. Like, it's so funny that like, the projections are just remarkably constant, and it's maddening. Like, I can understand why people just like are like, they want to pull their hair out at this, because it is so maddening on its face. And another thing that is maddening on its face, to segue into the next segment, I'm sure all of us in one degree or another have been big Bernie Sanders fans. Bernie Sanders. I definitely have been. I would have. I guess to a degree, I still consider myself a Bernie bro, although it's not like a relevant term anymore because he's not really running for anything. But
Wait, okay, wait. Do we think AOC is gonna run
in the next election,
like 2028? Is that what you mean?
I don't think so.
I think she would have let us know by now if she was.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think she is probably going to take the smarter path, the more linear path, and do and be in the Senate for a couple of terms, and then she'll run for president, because that's usually the progression, right? Like, you start in something like Congress. Usually goes like Congress, Senate, presidency. That's traditionally the trajectory.
Yeah, well, we have Trump in president right now. I don't think we can traditional.
Well, he's the first one in U.S. history to never hold any public office. So
what
he is
office
definitely
did Reagan hold previously?
Yeah, I was gonna say, right?
He was governor of California.
I'm asking sincerely because I don't. I'm not. This isn't a gotcha. I don't know.
Governor of California makes sense. Like,
I'm pretty sure he was the governor of California. I don't know why I'm blanking on this. Was it Reagan office before president? I gotta look this up. Yeah. Okay, I did remember that correctly. Yeah. So like, or governor is also a common trajectory, because it's like, I led one of the states, now it's just the same thing but with more people and bigger. So like, what is it, George Bush, he was governor of Texas, junior, that is. I can't remember what senior's trajectory would have been. Or Barack Obama, he was a senator out of Illinois, and I believe he was in Congress before that, if I remember correctly. But yeah, so like, Trump was the outlier.
I just wanted to know.
Yeah. But so like with Bernie Sanders, he was mayor of Vermont for a long time. And I'm not
he's
sure.
Been in politics for billions of years.
Oh yeah, he's just been Vermont senator for I don't know, our entire lives. And I think, he is when you're talking about the grand landscape of Western politics, he has been one of the most positive forces in that. I think he's one of the only people that you could say that about. And we're going to get into that a little bit more. But what is extremely frustrating about it is like, I'm frustrated with this clip on a couple of different levels. I was saying this to Jessica earlier. I'll pull this up. This is from Facebook, that I'm sourcing this clip from. That's the thing. I am not entirely sure when this interview is from. I cannot seem to find the entire interview. I can find this clip in like a million different places, but I can't find the rest of the interview. I found another Al Jazeera interview, but it was from like, you can see the AJ logo up in the corner there. But it was an entirely different interview. Like,
and
the
it's
lighting
so hard
was different,
to
the room
tell
was
because
different.
he's looked old forever.
Yeah, I know, exactly. When you do see clips from him from 2016, though, you can kind of know like the 10-year difference. When you see that, I'm not entirely sure when this clip was from, though.
The post-Trump,
and I'm not sure what, like, not that to say that the greater context is going to make this clip sound any better. A lot of you might have heard this already if you can see the preview there. But I would be interested in what the greater context of it is, because here, we'll get into it in a second. I'll play this clip, but it is absolutely maddening and frustrating to hear somebody like Bernie Sanders say shit like this. Here we go.
And polls among Palestinians in the occupied West Bank and Gaza are showing that they're increasingly in favor of a one-state solution with equal rights for Israelis and Palestinians alike and equal citizenship. Is that something you believe could happen, or is that something you support?
No, I don't. I mean, I think if that happens, then that would be the end of the state of Israel. And I support Israel's right to exist.
Do you think polls among Palestinians in the occupied West Bank and Gaza?
Okay, my interpretation of this is just, by Israel, he's saying Jewish state, and he thinks there should be a state just for Jews. Because I don't think he's like, I think it's just like Israel will then not be a state for Jews if everyone has equal rights in the state of Israel.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. But the thing is, like, why do you like, of all the beliefs that you have, and the things he has stood up for, the progress he has made, right? Why would an ethno state in the Middle East mean, like, why would that be a thing you give a shit about? It just doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean, that's part of what's so on top of it, just like Zionism being kind of like a modern Nazi ideology by virtue of enforcing an ethno state and genocide, and
there's a reason you're not living in Israel. Like, if you care that much, move there. But
and a lot of Americans have. And what's even more frustrating upon that, like, you juxtapose this clip with almost anything else about him talking about Israel. Like, here is an article from 7 Days by Kevin McCallum, but it's being hosted or relayed on Bernie Sanders' own website because he's proud of this and bragging about it. Senator Bernie Sanders has become a leading critic of Israel's war in Gaza. A leading critic. And that is true. You could say that's because, America is just so bad when it comes to the issue of Israel and the atrocities they've committed. The fact that they're still calling it a war. But like, he is literally the first senator to call it a genocide.
No. And so
it's crazy that he is on the money in so many ways, but then sits there and goes, Israel has a right to exist, and I think like giving Palestinians equal rights is bad. Like, and he believes, because, and the thing they're leaving out of that clip is, if I remember correctly, he is in favor of the two-state solution, which I think is a bit of it's fairy tale thinking. There's no way that you can remove hundreds of thousands of people from their home involuntarily and then just put them on another side of a border somewhere and expect that to be honky-dory. Like, that's just not...
Yeah, this result right here, this result right here is already the two-state solution.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly it. So the fact that he thinks a two-state solution is doable, how?
Correct me if I'm wrong. From the looks of him in that clip, I suspect it's at least 10 years ago.
You think so?
I do.
It could be from a while ago.
I'm willing to be wrong, but that's why I suspect.
And the thing that Bernie has done a lot in terms of talking about this subject and trying to pressure whether it be the Biden administration or the Trump administration to withhold funding on Israel, like stop sending them more bombs and things like that. Like, here's an article written by Bernie Sanders himself for The Guardian. No more U.S. military aid to Israel, April 15th, 2026. Again, one of the few people in U.S. government actually coming out and saying something like this. So, like, there's been a lot of...
I said this before. I hate that he points to Netanyahu, though, every time.
Yes.
Like, he says Israel's like...
He tries to pretend Netanyahu is like an anomaly.
The reason.
Just like Trump is an anomaly.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, okay, so if they got rid of Netanyahu, what would Bernie Sanders' view then be, is my question.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
it might be, and okay, this sounds like I'm playing devil's advocate. I might be. It may be because he figures within the landscape of U.S. politics surrounding Israel, pinning it on Netanyahu may be the most digestible way of doing that.
I would
exactly.
say
That's what
that
I
in
was going to say.
2024. I would not say that in 2026.
Exactly. Yeah. He needs to
Yeah.
advance his thinking here. Like it's hard to say exactly what his real feelings are because he's I've seen many people kind of talk about in those backroom dealings, so to speak, the stuff the public isn't necessarily privy to. He is very much trying to push and sell this idea of holding Israel to account and not sending them weapons and stuff like that. Sophie's coming out there putting his proverbial dick on the table and being like, no, fuck Israel and its entire right to exist. Also, let's stop sending them weapons. That's a much harder sell. And it comes off as a lot more extreme, and it's harder to negotiate, and it's harder to
God, I wish the left wasn't worried about being extreme.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I wish the left would be a bit more Donald Trump. You know what I mean?
I wish they'd be fucking extreme.
Just do it.
We need more people like look at Tim Walz when he was actually making good headway in the Kamala campaign simply by being direct and insulting towards those right-wing fucking goons and being like, you guys are fucking weird, and just like doing that, and then they told him to stop doing it. What? Like that was what he was getting it right. He was he was doing all right with that. I was in favor of calling these weirdos fucking weird, and then they told him to stop. Like, what are we doing? What's going on? What are we doing?
Though, like these things, we act like they're so radical. They poll well. Israel is losing in the Republicans as a point. That's why Tucker Carlson is doing well. That's why Candace Owens is doing well. So it's like being anti-Israel, like just straight up is not a losing talking point. So like to be scared to be anti-Israel is like at this point, I'm like, okay, pussy, like fuck.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I don't want to play like, overreaching apologist for Bernie saying the objectively wrong thing in these clips. But, the fact that he is like one of the sole critics is actually putting effort into these backroom talks to try and actually make real progress on this issue. It kind of gets to the point with some of these figures where what they actually say about Israel's right to exist or not kind of ceases to matter. And I think highlighting that and I don't know, trying to silo off these
I hate
people.
to be this guy. Bernie is 1,000,000 years old.
Oh,
how many years does he have?
I know.
Right?
He's not as sharp as he used to be.
His anger is hooked to AOC. Now would be the time for him to test the talking points. Before he does.
Oh my God.
So he could test the talking points. People don't like Bernie anymore. He retires. Oh, big whoop. And then AOC can use that knowledge. But he's, she can separate herself from him if she needs to or whatever it is if it doesn't work out. But I feel like it would work out. But that's what I would be doing, thinking of the future.
Well, and that's the thing that I ranted to James about this, particularly with stuff like Jagmeet Singh resigning, is that no one in power seems to do any fucking succession planning.
Yes.
What the fuck? Right?
Yeah.
Like even
in the wake of the Trudeau government, it felt like they were kind of like they were scrambling and they just sort of ended up with Carney, right?
Yeah. And the thing is that even if you take out the people like Dianne Feinstein or RBG, who are already 180 years old, who predictably could die at any time just because, age progresses in one direction. There's no coming back, right? So even if you're not 1 billion years the fuck old, you should still have a succession plan because people die or become incapacitated.
And so to Bernie's credit, he is very much in a lot of ways passing the torch to AOC. But you
But
make a very
he's
good
still
point
an
where
op-
like
He
you know
needs to locally in his district succession plan. Like it's
Yeah.
not
Yep.
enough
that
in the
too.
Needs to be
party.
That
doing
too.
that
He
too.
needs to
Yep.
directly have
Yep.
someone to replace him because he's old as shit.
Yeah.
And this isn't ageist. This is acknowledging.
It's just
Yeah,
that
I hate to
time
tell you
is
guys,
linear.
but
reality.
we all die.
Yeah.
This is the first time
Yeah.
you're hearing about it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And so yeah, no, it's completely mind-boggling and pisses me the fuck off, especially with the NDP, with the void that Jack Layton's passing
Mhm.
left, and the fact that
Yeah.
like the NDP in
And the
Canada
NDP
hasn't
has
taken
been
that lesson.
basically scrambled ever since, right? Yeah.
Like what the fuck, right?
Yeah.
And so like yeah, Jagmeet, I enjoyed him as the leader of the NDP, and I had put a lot of faith in him. But at the same time, he didn't do the succession planning, and this team didn't either. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So now with Abby Lewis, like, I'm pleased with Abby Lewis so far. He's new to this particular role in this label, so I hope even while he's building his profile in the public, I hope he's thinking about succession planning. Because Christ on a cracker, what happens if something suddenly happens to him? At least in the US, there's a vice president, right? That's built in succession planning. Why is there like, I'm not saying that Canada needs a vice MP or vice PM. I'm saying that like the parties themselves think ahead. Is no one thinking ahead?
No,
Ever?
they're building all those AI data centers all around because they're thinking about the future.
Oh my god. Yeah. I'm so
Speaking of
frustrated.
which,
Oh god, yeah.
this fucking
You
guy.
motherfucker. Yeah.
Carney's AI strategy promises over $2 billion in funding, aims to create 250,000 jobs. And a couple of funny things here. His AI strategy promises $2 billion in funding to fucking who?
Yep.
To who?
To whom?
Because it ain't us, folks. It ain't
Yep.
you and I.
Yep.
It's not going in our pockets.
Yeah.
That's
And
for
it's also
fucking sure.
not going into the pockets of the municipalities that are going to be impacted with the environmental and water
No.
repercussions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
shout
this
out
is
to everyone
another
in Hamilton
giveaway.
that was at the protest this morning.
Oh, how did that go?
Yes.
I couldn't make it because my kids in the morning,
get it.
so I couldn't make it for 8:30. But I talked to a few people. There was a great turnout. One guy had a sign that said, "I will blow up your AI data center."
Nice.
So like, yeah. So
That's the energy we need because,
yeah,
like,
and
you know,
apparently they packed the town hall because there was a town hall that day. I did my letter writing. I sent the emails and everything, and
Good.
signed the
Yeah.
petition. So yeah.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, this is really, really serious, guys. Like, this is not to be taken lightly, and I'm glad
And
from
it's
the
not
sounds of it
theoretical.
that it's not being taken lightly, as it should be.
Yeah.
I don't know why
And that's the thing is that like the arguments against these massive data centers, they're not theoretical. They're not like, oh, something could go bad.
Yeah.
We know from the data centers that are running that they are bad for the
Yeah.
environment.
Yeah, how
But
they're
also-
impacting those communities, whether
Yeah.
it be water supplies, air quality.
Yeah. And so like, yeah, you're going to say something like it aims to create 250,000 jobs. Aims to? Oh, we only created 1,000 jobs. Whoopsie doodle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
And
but-
like, well, not only that, like when you're talking like this is going to create 250,000 jobs. Yeah. At the expense of how many other jobs? Like, what is actually going to be created here? Is this actually growth, or is it just like a sort of step sideways / backwards because a bunch more money is being transferred to the private sector in the wealthy class at the expense of everybody else?
Yeah. And the funny thing too is that like a lot of these companies that went all in on AI is increasing their prices, and so now they're feeling the pinch of AI being more expensive than people.
Well, and
Yeah.
they did this study where
Yep.
they had like people using AI and people not using AI, and the
Yeah.
people that used AI, it took them to extra like 2 or 3 hours to do their job.
Yeah. Because that's the thing, is that like the thing
Yeah.
I tell people who are non-technical who use AI tools like ChatGPT is that like don't trust the output, only ask it questions that you will understand if they're wrong, right? Like if you ask it a
Like
question
you
of,
should have expertise already, and
well,
not
you
depending on
should at
the
least,
expertise of
even if
the
even if
robot.
it's
Fact
not
check.
expertise, even if it's a baseline understanding, so that if ChatGPT says set your oven to 700 degrees Celsius because then your turkey will be done in 5 minutes, like you need to know enough to be like, maybe I won't burn my house down.
There's this guy that talks to ChatGPT and he just proves how like useless it is.
I know
and
the guy you're talking about.
Yeah, and
yeah,
it's just like
yeah.
it's so great. Like he'll be like, "I'm gonna walk a mile and see if you can still hear me." And Chat's like, yeah, okay, you let me know and I'll see if I can still hear." He goes, "I walked a mile. Can you hear me?" And Chat's like, "Well, you're a little more quiet and I'm kind of picking you up. Maybe if you come a little closer." And he's like still just holding, like he doesn't move. And the Chat's just telling him what he thinks
Yeah.
he wants
Where,
to hear.
he's, or the one where he's like, okay, I'm gonna go for a run and I want you to time me.
Oh yeah.
and he like just goes, okay, I'm going for the run now. And then he comes back like a second later and it's like, all right, I just ran a mile. How long did it take? And he's like, oh, that was about 10 minutes. It hallucinates.
Oh yeah, can
and
you
makes
talk to
shit
me like
up.
my dead grandmother? That was another one he did, and the voice doesn't change. He's just like, "I'm old and frail."
Oh God.
And he's like, "No, you sound the same. Can you talk more
Yeah.
like an old woman?"
Yeah. So
I'm talking in a feminine voice.
yeah, so like even like say they fix these things, right? Like I remember the old really abstract and goofy looking videos of like Will Smith eating spaghetti,
spaghetti,
you know,
yeah,
the AI generated stuff and how just horrific it looked. And so even if that like these things improve, the underlying issue of the fact that it can and will just make stuff up to fill in its gaps, that is not something that's going to go away with the next iteration or even the next one or the one after that.
Yeah.
This
But
is
that's the
going
thing,
to
is that like AI is spread so thin by making it do stupid shit that it doesn't have the computing power to actually, or if it does, then costs like $1 billion to actually render out everything 3D to understand the underlying structures, right?
yeah.
Like it is easy for AI to understand visually how everything looks to make it look less
Yeah.
uncanny
Like
valley,
he
but
understands that like or it understands that a 2D image with these things that have that it determines are these leg-shaped things because that's what people are shaped like. Generally, when you have a light source coming from a certain direction, the shadows are there, things like that. It gets these concepts but in the flattened 2D scape. It does not understand
it just
the
understands
3D
it.
space.
Yeah, it understands it based on references.
Yeah.
But when it's dynamic, like it doesn't understand how these things intersect because it doesn't understand the weight and the scale in like the underlying structures. And so you might look at something that AI created that looks like maybe has depth and weight. Until you start looking at the details, if you understand, and this is going back to like 15th century art and stuff, when people are figuring out like perspective and that, right?
Yeah.
Like there is one disappearing focal point, and so everything should point into that, right? Like this is like grade 9 art, right?
Yeah.
But AI doesn't understand the basics. It was informed on the visuals.
Yeah.
And
Just
that's
constant references upon references upon references.
And then when things are
compiling
wrong,
them.
it doesn't know it's wrong because it doesn't know what's right. It just knows what things look
What
like.
is?
Yeah. It just knows what's been fed to it.
It knows the appearance. It doesn't even know what is. It knows the appearance because of what it's been fed. And so like it would be hilarious if it only gave us things like medieval cats with like weird fucking faces. But what it winds up doing is telling people that you should kill yourself. So
yeah.
So yeah, like this idea of Canada leaning into AI and then giving $2 billion to AI companies and data centers and that it's going to create X number of jobs by 2031 when we're going to lose probably way more jobs than that in the interim if this thing keeps continuing the way that it is.
Okay, Carney, this is for you. You can have your AI if it's owned by Canada.
Yeah. Like that would be
like
a
that
much more appealing
going
thing.
To AI we own, not private companies. You know,
technology
we
we actually get
those
to
jobs
own.
become government jobs.
Yeah,
you know, we can talk a little bit. Like I would even be a little like less, but it's like, you know, you're just throwing the money to a bunch of crypto bros who think this is the future.
And expecting us to, you know, once they're pissing on us, we're like, oh, it's trickling down.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
And I just love that the conservatives are like, this is so bad. It's like, you would have done the same thing.
No, oh yeah, they would have given them more.
Yeah,
be like $2 billion. You sure you don't want twice that amount? We got it. We'll give it to you.
Let's make it $5 billion just so it's good number.
Yeah. Like there's one thing the conservatives always have money for. It's for the fucking private sector. They'll come up with the fucking money. Like so, and especially when you're talking about courting jobs, that was the whole thing with Doug Ford. Ontario's open for business, right? Like that. Like don't pretend this is something you wouldn't do. But that's always like the twisted nature of how Canada has always viewed the opposition government. Well, it's like we're the opposition. We just got to oppose. And it's like, that doesn't mean to be a dickhead contrarian.
Taking someone with fucking integrity for like 5
actually
minutes.
have some consistency and,
it's also
and actual
like,
ideas.
It's like your job isn't be like, this isn't a high school debate. You have to pick the opposite position.
That is how watching and I think that's the thing where a lot of Canadians end up paying more attention to American politics, because at the very least it's a little more dynamic. When you're watching Parliament stuff and these one person standing up and then everyone clapping and stuff like that, it feels so high school debate.
Anytime someone says anything cool, they get kicked out for unparliamentary language.
Like it's your
policies could kill people, but if someone says that happened, then you get kicked out.
What's some of those governments I've seen videos from around the world where Parliament getting in almost like rugby style scrums where there's just guys flying over each other and punching the shit at each other. We need a little bit of that.
Absolutely.
Hey, we're the hockey country. We love a good hockey fight, right? It's one of the few sports where you can just throw down. You know what I mean? So what are we doing here?
But that's the fucking thing about where we're at currently with Canadian politics, and I think a lot of the ways in the American politics as well, is that the fake nice, which only actually applies to the left or to progressives or what have you, the fake nice is more important than substance. And that is disgusting. I think that we would be further ahead as a society, I think, is if we acted more like the Philippines parliament.
Bullshit respectability politics. Why in the face of especially when you're looking at the US and this just blatant fascism, why is there still decorum from any of the people
Baker just got banned from the UK, and Cenk Uygur, two journalists, one's a Twitch streamer, no political power whatsoever. But total war criminals go there all the time. So
exactly.
So we've sold our souls for decorum. And it is hurting all of us.
Fake, phony ass politeness. And so that's why I can't really get upset at people being being rude and chirping each other online and stuff like that to a certain degree, because it's like, well, look at all these so-called authority figures and leaders that we're supposed to learn example from, that are supposed to be so exemplary of our culture and the best of what we have to offer, and look what they do.
Also, I gotta
children raised in the era of Trump, imagine I feel for them.
It's
Because
not good.
imagine parents trying to tell their children,
Yeah.
about being polite and respectful to others
Yeah.
when the literal celebrated leader of the country
Yeah.
is like the most obtuse, rude, racist,
Bully.
bigoted individual, fucking bully.
Yeah.
Like the list goes on. How are you supposed to convince kids that being nice is nice?
Yeah.
When these are the leaders,
But also, one thing that I really enjoyed about Jagmeet's term was when there was a hick that started to razz him when he was just walking someplace.
Oh, I
yeah.
saw that.
He was
Yeah.
ready to throw down. He was
Well,
ready
he's
to
like,
throw
"What'd
down.
you say? Hey?" And like his
Yeah.
Canadian really came out. Jagmeet
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
And the guy's like, "Whoa, I wasn't talking to you."
Oh, it
right?
was me. I
And
didn't say it.
yeah. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I think that we need politicians that are actually like willing to throw the fuck down when someone like comes out with some bullshit.
This is why I love Ilhan Omar. Like when she got like
Yeah.
attacked by that like whatever the syringe was full of, and she like goes to rush the guy. Like I was like,
yeah.
you didn't. He could have just put
She don't
like,
play.
acid point. Like what? He don't know what's on you, and you just went to rush him. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
But just like that instinct just kind of shows how strong a person she actually is,
They're
because
fucking
it's like
fighters. That's
yeah,
what we
yeah. It's
need.
like, no, I
Yeah.
like I don't care if it's dangerous. You just did something that was beyond the pale, and I'm not going to accept it.
Yeah.
And
like
to hell
sometimes
with the danger that opposes to me,
Yeah.
because you've already put me in danger.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing Americans, Canadians alike got to realize about this stuff is like, you are already in the danger.
Yeah.
Like it's
Like
not
you-
something that's waiting in the winds just over the horizon. You have time to do something, but you're in it. You're in it.
Yeah. I just sent you the CBC link with the video. I want you to play that real quick.
Okay. Yeah. I'll put it on.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to wrap up this deal with AI, like a bunch of fluffy sounding typical Canadian nonsense here. According to the official strategy, Canada aims to do the following, among other goals: protect Canadians and children against the risks from AI and online harms. What does that mean? What does that actually look like? Who knows? Provide Canadians access to free AI literacy training, including reaching 1 million entry-level post-secondary students. So what you mean is you want to funnel entire generation of kids to being dependent on AI technology. That's what that sounds like. You are... Oh God! You are just willfully becoming servants to the AI companies.
Secondary education.
Yeah. To hell with actually paying
Like,
for their
what?
education.
Only for AI.
Let's train them on how to properly use AI. Okay.
Yeah.
Create
That
up
makes
to 90,000 AI related job opportunities for young Canadians.
So old
Opportunities.
Canadians, you're
Yeah.
fucked.
Opportunities. What does that
Yeah.
mean?
No,
For young Canadians. Oh, so especially underpaying jobs.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Internships.
Like it's not hard to read between the lines when you know what the capitalist mode of doing things typically is. Like it sounds like we're being really cynical and just taking the most ungratifying or ungracious
Ungenerous.
interpretation, ungenerous, thank you,
Yeah.
of interpretation of what these things are saying.
Yeah.
But I like, when have they ever talked like this and it been everything that they're saying it is?
I have
right?
a question about those last 2 points because they both touch
What
on
do you hear?
sovereignty.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get to that. Support creating up to 250,000 new jobs. Again, just throwing out big numbers. Sounds nice. Boost Canada's business adoption of AI from 12% today to 60% by 2034. Again, what does that mean? You're going to incentivize companies to adopt this technology? Again,
Why?
huge favor to these tech companies that are going to owe or pay back to Canadians. How? How?
They won't.
Because
they don't.
Yeah, like
because they
that
haven't.
to me, that right there is one of the most dangerous points. That's kind of alarming. But yeah, as you say, the last 2 points here: build a world-leading supercomputer as part of significantly enhanced sovereign infrastructure by 2031. This sounds like an Elon Musk promise.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Read the last one.
That literally is about
we're going to
surveillance.
have the space hotel. by 2020, and we're going to be in Mars by 2025.
Yeah, no, what that means is surveillance.
Yeah.
And like my question is the same with the
sovereign
last
infrastructure?
one.
Okay.
Yeah, like the last one, it says build a multilateral alliance giving Canada sovereign autonomy and key AI capabilities. Now, both of those together, I'm like, okay, what's sovereign about that?
Yeah.
If it's owned by private companies.
Yeah. Yeah, they can take their ball and go home at any time, right?
Yeah.
Like,
You can't tax
and
them
they
now
will.
because what if they leave?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, as a refresh.
Meanwhile, they have to like say things like this while they're in the back pocket of corporations. Meanwhile, what China's doing with their AI isn't nearly the private sector thing that we're doing. It is much more
And they put a lot of their
socialized.
data centers underwater.
Yeah.
Because the water keeps it cool.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
It's just interesting that the data centers themselves are underwater. That's kind of neat.
But it's also troubling given global warming.
Yeah,
and,
exactly. That's the thing.
issues
Like,
of, the environmental impact of increasing the temperature of big bodies of water.
That's the thing that is like really alarming too, even when it comes to China, because I think a lot of what they do in the face of Western hegemony is very good and very progressive and potentially good for the world, but they environmentally not a great track record. Like, sure, they are the world's manufacturer of goods, so of course they have more kind of like CO2 output and things like that. That's just going to be the result of having all the factories concentrated into one place, right? But they're also the most aggressive overfishers. They're responsible for depleting the ocean. They ostensibly do not give a shit about what they're reaping from the ocean and not being able to put back. So that's a big thing. And then of course, like leaning right into AI. Sure, their AI is more efficient and stuff like that. But the fact that the climate concerns don't seem to be on the top of their radar is a bit concerning.
In China, they're doing like a whole overhaul. They're creating one of the largest dams or something. They have the project due for 2030, I think.
Hey, if they're making renewable energy like dams and hydro is good
their
stuff.
Use of gas and oils,
except for dams,
what's going on with the states and everything like that. So
except dams have upstream and downstream environmental impacts as well.
Yes,
because you're flooding one area and then drying out another area below.
So hopefully, they've are doing it as well as it can be done.
Better than the states.
Yeah.
Per person.
Like we have the benefit here of like Niagara Falls and things like that, and our the way our hydro systems are.
So much of Canada is not inhabited.
Yeah, that too. But something like 80% of our hydro comes from power comes from hydro turbines, something like that, which is pretty good. It's pretty good.
That's also to do with our geography.
We are geographically enabled.
Yeah. There's two refreshers that I want to cleanse our palates to sign off. First off, I put them in the private chat. The first off is we have the video.
Oh, also, we will get to this next week because it connected to the AI thing. I was kind of taking notes on it, but I don't want to run too much longer here because, in the face of Carney talking about AI and things like that, we were going to get into the prevalence of fake AI influencers. These AI generated, and it's so funny. There's it's dystopian, but there's a lot of humor to be derived from it because these MAGA guys that the obviously AI women, and they're just blonde in tight clothes, but they're saying I love Donald Trump.
I've never been so horny. I'm almost
these are the horniest people.
They are just oh my god. I'm man, I fucking wish.
So we'll get into that next week, along with not just fake AI influencers, but fake influencers in general. And I'm not talking about the Tim Pools who are paid through Russian money and dark money and things like that. Although we will probably get into that a bit. I'm talking about this CBC report exposing fake Canadians pushing to join the U.S. Like these guys, like are essentially just like actors reading a script and not really knowing what the end result of what they're doing is going to be. Like this guy had no idea that he was going to end up being used as like a Canadian political influencer. Right, just from reading the script, it's to create the appearance of this like grassroots organic thing.
Astroturfing.
Like astroturfing, what we do essentially, like you know, and that is just one more notch on the dystopian belt. So yeah, but anyway, Nat, you wanted me to pull up.
Let's start with the CBC one.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes politics can be fun.
Oh yeah. This is going to be a there's going to be an ad first, and so let it play before you share screen.
Okay. Yeah, it's in the private chat, you said?
Yep. Private chat.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, it's the CBC one, and so then pull it up, but like let the ad play and then post that. But yeah, because I think that one thing that I believe, and I'm willing to be disproven, is that people are they feel disenfranchised and disconnected from politics, in part because so many people are so fucking disingenuous. If you click on that image of Jagmeet, that will bring up the thing. But there's going to be an ad first. That's what I was saying. That's why I was saying to wait until you shared it. But you know, you do.
Whatever. Augur Hollinsworth, you owe us $1.
In this political climate, members of Parliament are becoming used to being followed, questioned, and taunted.
As they should. I just say.
Oh no, it went all staticky. Is that me? Am I switching out?
Isn't it quite obvious he is the one that said that?
It might just be you, Nat. It's working fine for me.
What? Hello?
Hello?
Oh
no.
You're delayed.
Everything.
Oh no, what has happened? Okay, wait. I think I know what might have happened here. I'm going to try and fix this. Okay.
And we're broken.
Yeah, you guys sound all messed up. Do I sound messed up?
No.
Yeah, so this is the rough report. Sometimes things break.
Well, I'm glad we're at the end of the show. But yeah, the fact that he just turned around immediately and did that pretty great. I hope I'm still coming through okay.
You were a robot. You've only started coming through okay now.
Okay, you just did too. All right, we're back on track, folks. We're back on track.
Yeah.
Thanks for putting up with our digital aliasing. Yeah. Okay, looks like Jess is moving at normal speed again. She's not frozen. Okay, wonderful. Yeah. Here, let's pull that up again. Then I don't know if that was using the browser.
In this heated political climate, members.
There we go.
Yeah, there he goes.
What? Want to say something? Did you say nothing?
I didn't say nothing. I don't know. It really seemed like to me he was the one who said it. Right. It sounds like the same voice, and it sounds like it's coming from the same spot. I don't know.
But for NDP leader Jagmeet Singh, this particular provocation went too far.
That wasn't me. Was it you? No. You sure? If it was me, I'd admit it, buddy. Was it you or not?
Yeah, buddy. Like,
buddy. Look at this guy's face.
Singh got up close, confronting two men after being insulted.
My word. You sure it's not you?
My word.
100%. You're a coward. You're not going to say it to my face. That's what's up. Say what? The
incident unfolding right in front of the Parliamentary Protective Service.
It happens here. Just step away.
You can pause that. Anyway, I love that because it's like that is
more of that, really. Yeah.
More of that. Also, what I love is that fascists are cowards.
Yes.
And so if you directly approach them, then they're just like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, I can hear anything. But also reminds me
you're peeing on my free speech.
Yeah, but also reminds me of the scene from like, oh my God. Emperor's New Groove, or like Kuzco throws the acorn at what's his face, and then what's his face turns around and is like, I don't know, someone's throwing some stuff. Like, just immediately just be like, yeah, you hear that? Fuck, weird, right? But yeah, like such cowardly behavior from like the tough guys or come to show Jagmeet what's what, but also like
like he legit thought he could like hit Jagmeet as like the public official that he was at the time, could not react. Right.
Yeah.
Like he thought there was some sort of impunity in calling him a corrupted bastard.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like, again, you want like it's so rich when any conservative wants to throw around the term corrupt. Like, get fucking real.
Also,
but
like,
I know this one. Speech.
But like, hold on for 1 sec before you play that one. But what you need to acknowledge is that part of the problem with selling Jagmeet to Canadians was racism. But tell me that wasn't the most Canadian fucking confrontation in the history.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like,
you tell me that men in turbans are invading our country and coming to change our culture.
Yeah.
When that man was
culturally
culturally as Canadian as it freaking gets, right?
Like
there.
Even the inflection and like, what'd you say? Hey, bud, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
The whole fucking thing. Like, tell me that isn't like that could be on Letterkenny.
Thing, where he was sort of like looking down so he could look up into his eyes, like that sort of gesture. Like that feels very Canadian to me. Like, what, bud? What?
Yeah.
Like.
But also, like that scene could have been pulled directly from Letterkenny. Like, come on.
Yeah. I didn't say nothing. All right. So this is like, as soon as I saw this, immediately I was like, oh, I know what this is. Bodies Upon the Gears. I have heard this many times, but it should echo in your soul. It should haunt you a little bit to know that this isn't new, folks, and this is what is required.
Yep.
4 students are getting the axe. 6 organizations are getting the axe for standing up this semester and for fighting for these things. They're getting the axe not for what they did, but for what we have done. They spoke for us. They were part of us. They have been singled out, and they're going to be chopped off.
We were told the following. If President Kerr actually tried to get something more liberal out of the regents in his telephone conversations, why didn't he make some public statement to that effect? And the answer we received from a well-meaning liberal was the following. He said,
always well-meaning.
Would you ever imagine the manager of a firm making a statement publicly in opposition to his board of directors? That's the answer. Well, I ask you to consider, if this is a firm, and if the Board of Regents are the Board of Directors, and if President Kerr, in fact, is the manager, then I tell you something, the faculty are a bunch of employees, and we're the raw materials. But we're a bunch of raw materials that don't mean to have any process upon us, don't mean to be made into any product, don't mean to end up being bought by some clients of the university, be they the government, be they industry, be they organized labor, be they anyone, or human beings. There's a time when the operation of the machine becomes so odious.
Yeah, this is the highlight right here. This is the part that I want people to really fucking take in here.
Machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part. And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, upon the levers, upon all the apparatus, and you've got to make it stop. And you've got to indicate to the people who run it, to the people who own it, that unless you're free, the machine will be prevented from working at all.
Yeah. And that is how we should treat AI, especially.
Yes, especially.
Yeah.
Like,
suffering.
Went right into a majority report clip. If it is technology that is not being built with a human first interest, then like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing it for? And like, yeah, the fact that like our government through official media channels can stand up and go, yeah, we're going to give $2 billion of your dollars to these motherfuckers over here to further subjugate you, surveil you, and take away your creative outlets, your creative opportunities, destroy your climate, and you're gonna want to thank us for doing it.
Yeah.
Is what the idea
But
is.
also at the same time, no, you don't get UBI. No, you don't get healthcare because we're privatizing all that.
Yeah, like,
no,
oh,
you
you
don't get robust
We
public
should have made
transit.
better choices. Yeah, we should
Yeah.
make the choice to overthrow this fucking machine, right?
Yeah.
That's would be our better choices, because that's what they're going to tell us when we're all starving,
Yeah.
we're all suffering, we're all without more than ever, because like, you know, we're already doing that in a number of ways already.
Yeah.
But like as that inherent contradiction within capitalism intensifies and the wage gap increases, they're going to look you in the eye and tell you that you should have made better choices. They're
Yeah.
going to tell you it's your problem, not theirs.
Yeah. Even
And
when
it should make you sick.
Yeah, even when it is a growing percentage of the population that is experiencing these issues, it's still your singular personal fault.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's an individual failing, and that's
Yeah.
the yeah, that yeah, exactly. Have your drink out of paper straws, everybody. Yeah, exactly. It's so insulting to our collective intelligence, our individual intelligence, that this is what they're trying to sell us on. But you know, like I say, it's insulting, but the fact that it seems to be being allowed to happen, well, how wrong are they? That should be the question we're asking ourselves: is how wrong are they to treat us like we're this fucking stupid, this passive, this dull? How correct are they to do that? So yeah, that said, this has been the Rough Report. Thank you so much for joining us today. Bad and the ugly and the potentially hilarious. Until next time, stay rough.